Hey there, welcome to day 8 of the 30-day authenticity challenge. My name is Damia Shodi, and I love creating resources, programs, and all the things that will help you transform your mind and help you reach your potential and live out your calling and everything about yourself. I love just supporting people in helping them get to their next level and changing their mind, transforming their mind. So I love all the things that I'm sharing with you during this 30-day challenge. This 30-day challenge and the authenticity challenge is to help promote my podcast that I will be releasing, Luxury State of Mind, which is basically teaching you how to transform your mind, but how to live in luxury every single day. So no matter what tax bracket you're in, what neighborhood you live, what country, whatever it is, you can live in luxury starting today. And I teach this luxury state of mind based off of 3 pillars. First pillar being identity, second one, intentionality, and the third one, freedom of choice. And if you're like, girl, what are you talking about? I have other lives that you can look at. Look at day 2, 3, and 4, where I speak more about these pillars. So, of course, if we're going to talk about luxury, we have to talk about clearly one of the things that are luxury, which is travel. And I am a travel queen. Up to this point, I've been to 10 countries internationally. And then I've traveled to different places around the US. And I'm hoping and I will continue to keep traveling for as long as I can and going to new places. That's something that I personally enjoy and I do view as a form of luxury. So I'm with all the girlies who are like, okay, yeah, like now she's talking. Like we talk about luxury. I understand what she's talking about. So yeah, I've had the opportunity to travel to Nigeria. I'm Nigerian. I've had the opportunity to travel to Dubai, European countries, and also in the Middle East as well. So a breadth of experience. And I would say my love for travel actually came from my mom and my family. They travel a lot. I've had the opportunity to fly. I was one of those kids that flew. I mean, I know what happened with the airline that will not be named. But I was one of those kids that did fly by myself to different states. And I also did that flying to Nigeria by myself. So, and a lot of people are like, girl, what? Well, yes, I did that before I could probably read. So, I've been on the plane. I have no fear of flying or going to new places and exploring new places. And I also don't have a fear of traveling alone either, which is very not popular. I would say when I speak to people, the idea of traveling alone can be somewhat of a nerve-wracking experience, but it's something that I've seen growing up a lot. My mother travels by all over the world by herself. I've learned from her, and now I'm just like, okay, like it can be done. I would say one of the most transformative trips, and if not the most transformative trip that I've taken thus far, was my about to say 30-day trip, but low key it was 30 days. It was a trip, my European speaking tour is what I called it. And ultimately, I decided that I wanted to speak around the world. I applied to different conferences to speak about pharmaceutical nanotechnology, which is what I got my master's in, and explain to different healthcare professionals, what nanoparticles are and what the future of medicine will look like when they're fully immersed in our medical culture. So I had the opportunity to apply to multiple conferences, and then I was able to speak at 3 of them. I was able to go to the UK, London, as well as Amsterdam. So that was probably the best trip. It took a full month to be able to accomplish that particular trip, and I planned the whole thing myself. Stayed at all the hotels, got my all the transportation in order, where I was going to eat. And I really learned a lot of things during that trip. I learned a lot about myself. I increased my capacity for risk. I did have great experiences on that trip and met amazing people. And then I did also have some not so good experiences as well. But I'm better for literally everything that happened. And I do on my old podcast, I do have the whole trip explained. And once the new podcast comes in, you'll be able to hear the full thing of how that trip went down. But I did that. It was my first solo international trip that I've done. And it was such a great experience, and it showed me what's possible. I ate new foods. I got to meet again new people and go to new places, see how other cultures are living, and it expanded my mind. Something that I was taught from a very young age is that people who are that travel are actually smarter at times than people who just go to university. Why? Because they are exposed to a lot to life that's outside of theirs. They're exposed to new people and the way that they live. Because ultimately, you can be where you are and think this is how everybody is, and then you get out and you realize that, oh shoot, like life is different out there. People are different. I remember being in Spain and um, getting a sandwich because I was hungry, and then I sat outside to eat it, and I saw a lot of people staring at me, and I was like, why are they staring at me? And then I was able to speak to somebody, and they were like, girl, because people don't eat like that outside. And I was like, oh, my B dog, like, my bad. I did not know that that was a thing. Because in the US, we eat in our cars. We can, I don't, well, depending on where you live in the US, if you don't have that type of environment where you can just sit down and, you know, people are walking and all that. But if you are in that type of environment, if you see people eating all the time, or you see people drinking their Starbucks and just eating on the go, but you'd be surprised in other countries, it's just not the same way. So it shows you that there's more to life than what you think or what you are experiencing right now. There's so much more to see. And some of us are want to travel. So there are those of us who, we out here, like, we're traveling, we're doing our thing. And this also can relate to you as well. But then there are some of us who desire to travel, who desire to be outside, but we are holding ourselves back. Again, this can be for both groups, holding ourselves back because we don't have somebody to go with us. There are places that you want to go to, there are experiences that you want to have, but because your best friend can't go with you, or a family member or something, you hold yourself back from going, and you limit your capability of exploring more. And I just want to encourage you today that you are free to experience and explore more. I mean, this can be as simple as we think, oh, that's like, you travel international, go by yourself. That's crazy. We can start off small. We can even start like in our city. We can start in our state. We can start in our country and then go out. It doesn't have to be such a, I don't know, just go to the next country. You can do that. I'm here. I'm here for it. Like, you can just literally go, you know. But sometimes we are holding ourselves back out of fear and allowing other people's fears and their perspectives to also limit us from going out. Sometimes that fear can limit us in the most simplest of ways. Like, sometimes we're not even going to a restaurant to eat by ourselves, or we want to go to this new place. We have that thing in us that wants to explore, that wants to try new things, but it's like the thought of, what would they think of me if I go? What will they think of me if I sit there by myself? What would they think of me if I just catch a plane by myself? I think, with social media now, like, we're seeing people doing this more often, so it's becoming more normal. But before, and even still, even though we are seeing these things, it is, we can still be limited by fear. The fear of what will others think, and also the fear of what others say. Because I said it in one of the lives, I was like, oh, I heard that a friend's friend of a friend of a friend, a friend went there, and this is what happened to them. And then we carry the voices of other people and their experiences in our minds, and that dictates where we're able to go, and our freedom and our ability to explore and experience life. But I just want to give you that encouragement today that you have the opportunity to do that. You can dream of your travel as big as you want it to be. You can plan for what it is that you want to do. You have that freedom to travel in the way that you want to travel. Girl, if you like luxury hotels, ma'am, you can have it. If that's not your thing and you're like, the experiences are the main thing for me, like, you can have it. Whatever it is that you were like, this is what I want to do, you are free to have it. And you don't necessarily need others to co-sign with what you're trying to do. I mean, I've talked to so many women. I've shared my story of my speaking tour and just my travels. And they're like, man, I wish I could do that. And it's like, but you can do that. You literally can, but the main thing that's holding everyone back is just a fear of exploring, the fear of, "Well, they're not going to come with me." It's like, so personally for me, I like solo trips. Like, I prefer them more than group trips, unless it's like with my family. Like, I know them. We know how we get down. So I like traveling with them. But typically I like solo trips. I like traveling with people, but for a shorter period of time. Again, going back to the lie that I had mentioned on self-care. You have to know who you are and what you can intake and all these different things. So yeah, allow yourself to have that freedom. And then the second thing I want to let you consider is, what's your dream trip, or what trip would you be open to exploring, maybe a new way of traveling that you've never considered before? So what is your dream trip? That's one. You trying to go to Bali, or you're trying to, because that's one of my dream places, going to Bali. Are you trying to go to Paris? Is that your goal? Do you want to tour different African countries? You're trying to go to Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa? Like, I'm trying to go to South Africa because I love their like house music. So one of my things is I want to go and just explore the music scene there. But it's just like, what is your dream trip, or what is your dream experience? And then what have you maybe never considered before? You open to exploring something new? Something that I enjoy doing is going into department stores and talking with the people who sell perfume. So I think I've mentioned this before, going to like maybe Nordstrom or Saks or whatever, because I like perfumes. I find them to be interesting. I feel like an outfit is not complete unless you're wearing perfume. And I've been trying to learn more about them. And one of the guys had mentioned, this was recently, he had mentioned that, oh, yeah, you can go to Grasse, France and like make your own perfume. And I'm like, you don't say. Never thought about that before, but I'm going to add that to my list. That how cool would it be to go to Grasse, France for like a week or 2 weeks and take a workshop on making perfumes, or learning about that for most of the day, or taking a culinary trip. I actually went to Spain um a while back, and I had the opportunity to go take a cooking class, and I got to make paella, and we went to the market, and we went to shop for all the ingredients, and we cooked it in a very small group, and it was wonderful. So I was like, like, what if I get to incorporate this more into my travel? Incorporate more cooking or experiences. I do value experiences. So I'm always open to see what kind of experiences can I make on my trip. When I did my speaking tour, and these are maybe some ideas for you that, maybe you can consider for your dream trip or for where you want to go next. When I went to Amsterdam, I had the opportunity to go to a very popular old school cheese making house. And it's called Abraham Kef, and they give you like a 2 hour tour and cheese tasting experience, the wine, the bread, and 10 different types of cheeses, or I think even more than that, from Amsterdam as well as from France. And of course, they change up their menu often. So whatever I experience may be different than what you're experiencing. But yeah, like, I had that opportunity, and it was one of the greatest experiences thus far. It was something that was meaningful for me. I like food. So the opportunity to try new foods is always exciting. So I had the opportunity to try new foods, learn about something that I like. I like cheese, and I was so full, but it was so worth it. So it's like, what do you want to do with your travel? What is meaningful for you? Is there places that you want to go that you're just kind of like, I don't really know if somebody go with me, and oh, I'm planning around other people. It's like, look, I'm gonna give you by this date. If you can't tell me that you can come, then I'm gonna have to go without you. I had to do that for a solo trip. I definitely took a solo trip to Atlanta by myself a couple years ago for my birthday, and it was a great trip. I took a city tour, and I took a full day wine tour where I got to go to 3 different wineries and drink wine. So sometimes you just got to take the leap and just go and run and just do what's on your mind to do. So I hope this encourages you to be bold about your travel experiences. What are you trying to do? where, like, what kind of experiences do you want? Where are you trying to go? And I would love to hear from you in the comments that what is a dream, a destination for you that you are trying to go. And I can also link, I do have a travel blog, so I'll link that too. It's called Travel Made Fresh, where I've highlighted different trips that I've taken as well as tours that you can take. Because I feel like what makes, and I realized this on my trip, on my European tour, is what makes a trip easy, especially if you're trying to solo travel and also group travel, is taking tours. And I plan on taking a lot of different tours in this lifetime, okay? And being taught about the culture and all these different things. So I will also share that with you so you can check that out. But yeah, thank you for joining me today for this live. This is all about travel for today and how travel can be luxurious for you. How can you make your travel experience more luxurious? So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, and you can even send me a message. Where are you trying to go? Where's your next trip? And I will speak to you on day 10. Bye.